Welcome back to another edition of Arizona Wildcats Insiders Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Hutchison. We're going to be rolling out, continuing our Arizona football all-quarter century team. We've covered running backs. We've covered linebackers, offensive line, defensive line. We're going to continue that process. And there's been a lot of great players in the last 25 years. Yes, Arizona has had its struggles with a losing record over the last 25 years, but still some very good players in the Jet Fish era, some great players in the Mike Stoops era, even the Rich Rod era, as well as that was the most successful era in the last 25 years with constant bowl games and a 10-win season. However, the last 25 years has had its ups and downs, the downs being the Makovic era, where John Makovic completely destroyed the program in a matter of a year and a half. Took a very long time to rebuild Arizona with crappy facilities. Mike Stoops was able to get it done and put Arizona in a good situation. And then all of a sudden, fast forward, many years later, after Rich Rodriguez, Kevin Sumlin comes in and completely destroys the program again and really leaves it in worse shape in terms of talent on the roster. But it was easier to rebuild, although Jed has had his struggles going 1-11 and then 5-7. There's more ability to rebuild quicker because you have the transfer portal. You have guys coming in and out, and Jed did a tremendous job getting the program back where it needed to be. And now Brennan is going through a little bit of a rebuild himself, trying to get the program back on track. The reason why we're going over this right now is because Arizona's in the middle of its bye week. It's a perfect time to do an all-quarter century team. And the Wildcats are coming off back-to-back heartbreaking losses, one against BYU, where the Cats led by 10 points, 24-14, about midway through the fourth quarter, and saw the game slip away right through their hands as they lost in double overtime, 33-27. And then against Houston, Arizona found themselves down entering the fourth quarter by 14 points, battled their way back, but unfortunately left too little time on the clock as Houston was able to run what they did all game long, 232 yards on the ground, right up the gut, most of it, getting in field goal range and beating the Wildcats on a game-winning 41-yard field goal as time expired. Heartbreaking loss for the Wildcats there. So as we roll along with this all-quarter century team, we've come up with our punters of the last 25 years. Yes, punters. We're going to break down every position. And why two? One starter, one backup. That's what we've been doing in a lot of situations. Again, offensive line was different. Defensive line was different. We just had a starting unit for those, given the fact that it's hard to collect offensive line stats and defensive line stats over the last 25 years. So we look at the punter position, and Arizona's had some good punters. They've had some bad ones, but they've also had some really good ones as well. The guy I want to start off with, who's punter number 2 for me, and really you can make for a case for punter number 1, but he had highs and then slowly declined throughout his Arizona career. Very consistent, very good, but had ups and downs, and has the longest kick maybe in program history. I don't know if it's a record, but it's the longest kick I've ever seen in my life, 83 yards. And it wasn't one of those where, you're running and it bounces at the 40, takes a U of A hop all the way to the 5-yard line. No, this was a boot. It was a cannon off the foot of Keenan Cryer, number 47, one of the better punters of the last 25 years, hit that 83-yard punt against USC with Arizona trailing 17-13. U of A went on to lose that game, but what a tremendous punt. 83 yards. Gets it down on the USC 3 or 4 yard line, I believe. Just a bomb of a punt. And you know what? He had a very successful career at Arizona despite the ups and downs. You're talking about a guy that averaged over 40-something yards a punt. Pulling up the stats right now as we speak. Let's see. Keenan Cryer averaged trying to find it here. Here we go. He averaged 43.8 yards per punt in 2008. Again, that was tremendous for his career, 42.4. And he was an all-conference selection in 2008 as well. Again, kind of declined a little bit, but a great punter from 2007 to 2010. That 09 year, he kind of declined. But Keenan Cryer is our second string punter on that one right there. Number one, I got to edit that. Number one is none other than Kyle Ossendorp. Ossendorp was pretty below average and struggled his first couple years at Arizona, almost unplayable at times. He was having a rough start to his career, averaging 39.7 yards per punt. And then during the 2022 season, I don't know what it was. We all went to training camp. We all went to spring ball, and he was shanking them right and left. He did not look good. It's like, oh, God, Arizona's going to have a punting situation. But he took off, man. He averaged around 49.2 yards per punt on 58 attempts in 12 games. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. That turnaround was amazing. And then for his career, he averaged 45.4 yards per punt, booting 148 kicks in 43 games. He's definitely one of our all-quarter century punters. He's a starting punter, Kyle Ossendorp. We'll have more of these as the days move along and throughout this bye week. I think we're going to come up on kicker and maybe the safety unit. We'll see. But that is coming up, and we'll let you know who those all-quarter century members are. Be sure to catch us on Arizona Wildcats on SI. Follow my Twitter account at Arizona Wildcats on SI, or follow me, Troy Hutchison, at THutch1995, and we'll see you next time.